Okay, so welcome everybody. I am so excited for tonight's team Zoom and everything that you guys are going to learn from Sefora and Chelsea. For those of you who are new, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Brittany Hayes. I'm your Ambassador Diamond Upline, and I am just so excited for you guys to hear from two incredible rock stars tonight. Both Sefora and Chelsea are both Ruby leaders. They went Ruby extremely quickly, like in their first month, and are both super, super close to Diamond. They're going Diamond this month. And I'm just so excited for you guys to get to learn from them for several reasons. But one of the reasons is because they're both pretty new. They've both been in for a couple months. And I think that, it's so amazing. Just, their timelines are pretty similar. I know that they do things, a little bit differently in some areas, but also super similar in other areas. And I know that if you're new, you're going to be able to just take so much away from them. So have your, notebooks ready and just be ready to, take, everything that you can from them tonight and, implement it and just have the best rest of the month. So often when we're new, we can count ourselves out. We can think like, oh yeah, I hear Brittany's story and that's amazing, but I'm not an Ambassador Diamond. I don't even know how to begin to, get started. I don't even know if that'd be possible for me. And what I love so much about, what you're going to learn from both of them tonight is you can't say that. They're not that much, they haven't been in the business that much longer than you. And there's nothing they have inside of them that you don't have inside of you too. And so I hope that you can, come to the table tonight just ready to learn and ready to implement everything that you possibly can from them and just in the month so strong, because why not you? And I love what Monique said in the chat. She said, so nice to see a full house on here tonight. I know it is so, so nice. And remember, guys, if you don't have your camera on, turn your camera on so we can see your face. But anyways, we're going to go and get started, and I'm going to let Sefora and Chelsea just start off introducing themselves and telling their stories. Sefora, if you want to get started and just introduce us, tell us how you got started in the business, just anything you want to share.
Sure. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Hi guys, so I'm Sefora. I actually saw Brittany's post through a Hosta post through my cousin Sarah. And so the funny thing is that Sarah had been talking to Brittany for, I don't know, 6 months or so. And she had been debating on and off whether or not she wanted to get started in this business. And she never actually told me about it, but I was scrolling through Facebook just like most people were. And I found it and I reached out to her immediately. I think it took me 2 or 3 days, but I said yes. I hopped on, and then crickets for 2 weeks. I started having some doubt. I had people around me say, oh, it's just a pyramid scheme. It's not going to work. You're not going to make any money. So I, of course, let that get to me. So I actually did not make my first post until 2 weeks after I said yes. So I literally was just sitting there, just thinking about it. Brittany was checking in with me, and I'm like, okay, well, it's my son's birthday. Tons of excuses, okay? And so finally, I was like, you know what? Why not me? So I did my first post, and that was of 2.5 weeks after I said yes. I joined in January, the end of January. I didn't post till mid-February. And basically, it's been such an amazing ride. It's been, I can't even begin to say how amazing and such a great opportunity that it's been. I have so many long-term friends that I have met that I will have you guys forever. And I am so thankful. I grew up in a Christian home, going to church every Sunday, Wednesday, all the activities, everything you name and above. And I've always read my Bible, go to church and everything. But the biggest thing that I love about this company is that I am getting spiritually fed every single day. I'm getting motivated every single day. When I have a low self-esteem day, or if I'm having a bad day, I tell someone on my team, and they are quickly there to lift me up and to just bring me back up. So not saying that my best friends don't do that, but being able to share this business with other women who think like you, who have bigger dreams, who don't want to settle, who don't want to make excuses, who are willing to work hard. There is unlimited resources that you have. So, it's just been such an amazing ride. And so I currently work for a plastic surgeon. I manage his office. And so with us being in quarantine, I've been working from home. So I've been managing an office and then also doing, this business at the same time. And so thankfully, we've been home. So it's been an easier transition. And so I'm married to my husband, Mac. He's a firefighter for Dallas. And then my son, Ezra, he's 2. You see him back there. And so it's just us, a family of 3, and that's pretty much my story.
I love it so much. And I love just hearing you share how, it took you those couple weeks to get started. I know that there's several people on here that can relate with that is totally their situation too. Maybe you're on this Zoom tonight and you haven't really publicly gotten started. And what was so crazy for Sefora, and I just want to like tack onto this because I don't think you'll mind, but Sefora had a lot of things people were saying to her and a lot of things that maybe were going on in her head, doubts, fears, whatever. But when she made that first post, you guys, I kid you not, like she was just like a force to be reckoned with. And from mid-February when she did that to mid-March, 1 month, she went Ruby. She went Ruby before it was even the 25th of March. Like she was just on fire. And that just goes to show you that so often the fears that we have in our head, like they're just random fears. Like there's not any truth to them. So often, or actually not so often, almost always like the negative things that people say to us, there's not really any truth to that either. And so if we can just learn to let all that go, push it out long enough to just step forward, that's when we really, really allow big things to start happening. And we give God a chance to come in and, show himself big and really, bless our efforts. But he can't bless what we won't do. And so if we're not willing to just like lay the fear down long enough to just step forward, we so often miss what could have been our miracle. So on that note, I'm going to pass it over to Chelsea. Chelsea, I would love so much for you to introduce yourself and just tell your story. I know you have an incredible story, and I'm so excited for everyone to get to know you more tonight.
Yes. Well, Brittany, first of all, thank you so much for having me on tonight. You guys, it is such an honor to be with you. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. So my husband and I and our 2 girls, Kaylee and Kate. Kate is 5 and Kaylee is 8. We live down in the Panhandle on the Gulf Coast where all the sands are super white and powdery and beautiful, and we love it down there. I am an interior designer by trade. I have had a boutique design firm. We specialize in weddings and events and do interior and residential commercial design. So that's what I have been doing the last 6 years or so. And then I guess the end of last year in December, some things happened in our family to where I needed to come home and be with my girls and put my business on the back burner. And it was something, of course, that I had poured blood, sweat, and tears into and loved. I'm a huge relationship girl. One-on-ones are my favorite, my heart. I love being able to partner with people and create beautiful spaces, times, moments where people's hearts can be nurtured and people can just feel loved. And so it was really hard, but I was like, okay, Lord, you've got to have something for me. And so as I was praying through all of this over the Christmas break before my girls went back to school, knowing that I had to clear my calendar for this coming year, Chelsea Hawkins stuff started appearing on my news feed. And I'm like, who is this girl? And we were friends. And I didn't know what she did, but I just knew that my heart resonated with what she was posting. I saw she had this beautiful smile. She was sharing scripture, just encouraging posts. And she had product, but I never really could tell that it was It Works. I just could see that she had a passion for health and wellness, and but that her heart was for people. And if money wasn't an issue, then, and I could really just be doing anything, it would be to come alongside women in whatever season of life that they're in, to encourage them and empower them and motivate them. And anyway, so it was like, what is this girl doing? And she's making money doing it. Like, okay. So I just started following her, still couldn't figure it out. All of a sudden, Brittany's stuff started appearing, and I clicked and we were friends. And I'm like, where are these girls coming from? And all of a sudden, like I don't know how long that we had been friends, but their stuff just kept coming through. So I finally gathered the courage to reach out to Chelsea. And I don't do that. I don't just reach out to random people. And I wasn't looking for a business opportunity, but yet I was praying in my prayer time that the Lord would bring something that I could do at home while being with my kids in this season, not knowing how long that it would be for. So I reached out to Chelsea, and she shared it with me, of course, that she was a brand representative for a health and wellness company. And then she shared that it was It Works. And I'm like, It Works. And I was like, oh, is that wrap company? I think I heard about that like back in the day, but I wasn't really, everything that it appears now wasn't what I had remembered from before, with the parties and all of that. And that wasn't something that I could do, but this was like totally new and different. And so anyway, so I just said, okay, I'm going to pray about it, because I loved everything that she shared. I loved who she was. I wanted people like her in my sphere. And so anyway, I prayed about it for a couple weeks. She kept connecting with me. And I talked to my mom about it. And I'm like, Mom, I just love this girl. Oh, and another thing is, so I realized Brittany and I used to go to church together, but we didn't even know it. So I love that we were, in church, but had no idea. And the stories also, it's like you hear like the one-offs all the time of like this person who, set out to do this and is now making, 6 figures, but it's like the one-off. And it's like story after story after story that I was hearing are all these women who just, they wanted more, they needed more for their family. They gave their best effort, they trusted God, and this is what happened. And so anyway, so I finally just said, you know what? And one of my big fears is where we live, and I am so humbled by this and don't, take it lightly at all, but people respect me, they look up to me, they value my opinion. And so it was like, if I'm going to get into something, I need to know, I need to be able to stand behind it unapologetically and really believe in it. And so that was my big hesitation. That was my big fear. My big holdup was I don't want to jump into something and then be let down. And so I really did my research. I looked into the company, and that was another thing. My heart so resonated with the heart of the company, and their heart for families and their, passion to see families thriving, not just financially, but physically, and see people, restoring their health. And then of course that, they are believers and, want to see the gospel spread. And anyway, so it was like, this is everything that I want to do, and I can do it from home. So anyway, I jumped in, but I told Chelsea, I'm like, listen, I'm jumping in, but I'm going to get on the product. I need to try the product. I need to see that it works. And so I took my before pictures, and I got started on the cleanse and the keto coffee and the super greens. You guys, let me tell you this. It took me 2 weeks to actually share my pictures, because my day 1 to day 6, there was such a huge change that I'm like, no one's going to ever believe this. I can't share this. I was like, and I have a huge problem with bloating, and I have not, 3 months now that I've been on the products, I haven't bloated at all, even during my cycles. So it was so amazing. So anyway, Sefora and I's timeline was the same. I jumped in and started taking the products. And a month in, I said, okay, girl, and I didn't breathe a word to anyone except my parents, and just started on the products. And then a month in, said, okay, I'm in. I started my first post mid-February, and then the rest is history. And I haven't looked back since then. And I am so, so thankful. I have never been a part of a circle of people where there is like zero competition. Everyone is so in one another's corner and so out to see each other succeed. And I just am thriving on every level, getting to do what my heart longs to do, be home with my babies. And who would have thought everything with the quarantine and the jobs that I did have were put on hold because of, everything that I do is so relationship based. And so God just went before me on 100 levels. And I am so thankful. I'm so excited to see what He has in store. So.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. And I just love so much that you shared that you immediately noticed that there was no competition. Everyone wanted everyone to succeed, because you guys, there's one thing that like It Works has taught me. It's that when the tide rises, all the boats get higher. And so often out in the regular world, that's not how things are. In the corporate world, I know for a fact that's not how it is. And I remember just like the last corporate job that I had, just the atmosphere in the office and just like the tension you felt and the anxiety and just the cattiness and all the things, and everyone just, looking out for themselves and not anyone else. And how incredible that we all get to be a part of such an, just a life-giving company that is not at all a part of the culture. And I think that truly is just one of the biggest blessings, and probably not even something that we talk about enough, because it's just become so normal for those of us that have been in for a while. But I love so much that you, touched on that. Jordan said in the comments, such rare air. It's so true. But anyways, we're going to jump right in. I know everybody is really excited to hear you guys' tips. And so we're going to jump right into those. And I just would love for both of you, Sefora, we'll start with you and then we'll go over to you, Chelsea. But I would love for both of you guys to share, just really just some tangible things that you did that other people that are listening that are, new, or maybe they've been in for a while, can take and implement. Both of you guys, went Ruby right away. Like once you got started, y'all were Ruby the next month. And that's saying a lot, because a lot of people will feel like, especially if they got a delayed start, that might get in their head that they're already behind. But you guys didn't let that get in your head. You just, went forward. And here you are, not just Ruby, but both going Diamond. So just share with us, like, what are some things that you feel like that you did really made a difference that you feel like everyone should be doing, or at least, trying to do?
Okay, so first things first, and it's something that you guys should all do, is pray. Pray over your business. Pray for God to give you wisdom. Just like Solomon, all he wanted was wisdom, because when you have wisdom, you have endless amounts of opportunities. God is going to give you everything you need, any information. He'll bring you the people that will help you be successful. So praying is going to be the most important thing that you can do. And it's all God. It's not anything that we can do. It's all him. And so after that, the steps to success, which you guys also know, you have to make sure that you're constantly posting, make sure that you're doing daily affirmations. Most people do that first thing in the morning. Some people like to do it at night. I think that, if you do it first thing when you wake up in the morning, you start off with those positive affirmations. It's something that I never used to do, and it's something that I actually learned from Brittany. And it has been such a blessing, just having that quiet time with yourself before you go out with the kids and just start your day. It's been like the biggest just blessing. The other thing too is going into what we're doing on our social media platforms. So for me, Facebook and Instagram are my platforms. I know some people will do like Snap, they'll do TikTok. Honestly, if I try to do TikTok, like, I would not be where I'm at, because I'm just not savvy. That would be my husband. My husband is hilarious. He'd be good at it, but hates being the center of attention. So stick to what you know, stick to what you're good at. Don't spend time trying to figure something out that it's not working for you. The other thing too that blew up my network was host to post. Just like I found the opportunity through Brittany, through my cousin, host to post has been the game changer. I have gotten more orders, more loyal customers through host to post than anything that I could do. And so I do business host to post, and I do product host to post. So for instance, we've had that sale 2 for $49 that just ended yesterday. I was doing the crap out of host to post, this whole past week, because we need the volume, right? We want those, we want those loyal customers. We want to make sure that we're hitting those goals. And so if you weren't doing host to post, trust me, you are missing out of the blessings, missing out on the opportunities to reach out to other people, to be able to help them, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's just to live a healthier lifestyle. It's going to be a game changer. So if you're not doing it, you need to do it. Making sure you're adding to your network. So before I started in this business, my Facebook had about 500 people. Okay. And if you're not at 5,000 or close to 5,000, then you need to get there. Start adding people. Like, literally, I will be on my phone while I'm watching my son, and I'm just like, add friend, add friend, add friend, add friend. So I easily add like 100 people a day, easily. And the reason why I tell you the importance of this, there was this one Saturday that I was almost not gonna add anybody. If I would not have added that Saturday, like literally as soon as I added this girl, she saw my Skinny Brew post and she was ready to jump on, and she became a loyal customer. Like, perfect example. So you have to make sure you're always adding to your network. And then after you hit 5,000, people are going to have to follow you. Okay. So you want that. Also, another thing too, like your actual profile, make sure you're cleaning it up. You want your Facebook profile to look professional. So once we're done with like a host to post, delete it, because then people, as they're scrolling, they're going to try to get in on those host to post that you've done in the past, and you're like, okay, I'm not even doing that one anymore, I'm doing a new one. So make sure, like, old things, you're cleaning them out, and make sure your profile looks nice and dandy. Be a product of the product. If you're not trying our products, then how are you really going to express yourself to other people? So you're going to find that there's going to be some products that you can relate to more than others. Yes, we have over 50, but I have 10 that I use every single day that I'm always, using. My son loves to mix all of my drinks, and he gets mad if I try to do it without him. So incorporate your kids into these posts. People want to see real life time. They want to see your kids involved. They want to see what you're doing. And so make sure that you're using the products. They're amazing anyway. They're going to make you look better, feel better. So why not use them? Another thing that has also helped me a lot, and I actually didn't start doing it. I started doing it, I want to say last month, and it was because of Melissa. She's on part of my team, was doing polls on your story. So make sure that you're posting on your wall, but you're also doing stories. And then at the end of whatever it is that you're advertising for that day, make sure that you're also putting a poll, because I have gotten a lot of customers that maybe don't want to reach out to me and leave a comment on a post on my Facebook, but they'll actually, or on your Instagram, but they'll actually vote on a poll, and then you can contact them that way. So that has been something else that has really helped a lot. And then going live. Practice live. Like if you're a really shy person, like just record yourself on your iPhone, or on your smartphone, and just practice things that you would say. I get nervous, even though I've done it millions of times, and I'm nervous now, but you guys might not even see that, but I'm like sweating, like, oh my gosh, it's hot in here. But but going live, people want to see you. People want to see that you're actually part of this business, that you're not just like a robot on Facebook that's like trying to like get their money. And so they want to see what you're doing. They want to see your life. They want to know, just everything about you. And so when you're able to build that, relationship with, your customers, they're not just a box that you're filling. They're not just volume that you need. You need to make sure that you're following up with your customers and make sure that you're building that relationship, because they're going to trust you that way. And after the 3 months, they're going to be more likely to continue to be your loyal customer after 3 months. And so something that I'm doing that I know it's probably because I'm still kind of new to the business is once 2 days before an auto ship goes out, I text that person and say, hey, your auto ship is coming up. Do you want to continue with the same product, or do you want to go ahead and change it? And so I literally do that with every single customer that I have. So just imagine how many customers I have to do that with. And that's with every single person, because I want to make sure that they know that I'm present. They know that I'm there for them. They know that they're not just a quick sale and that's it. And I know eventually, because I have bigger goals than just diamond, I'm going to go higher than that. It's going to get a little bit harder to do that, but I just feel like having that relationship, letting them have your phone number so that they can always ask questions, anything like that. I feel like that has been also such a big blessing into my business. So
I love that so much. And I love that you shared on, just maximizing host to post. You guys, Sefora is way too humble. She's not going to tell you that she signed like 23 customers in 72 hours last week or something like that. But I'm not even being dramatic. Like it was like literally that many customers in like less than 3 days. And she like didn't even tell me she was signing customers. It's funny because some people will tell me like, hey, just sign an LC or just sign 3 LCs. She like comes in like, by the way, in the last like 4 hours, I signed 10 LCs, just like nonchalant. And then the next morning she's like, 19 more LCs or something like that. And I'm like, holy cow. And she's just like so nonchalant about it. And I know not all of them were maybe from host to post Sefora. I know some were probably from stories and other things, but a lot were from host to post, you guys. And so if you have not taken the time to learn host to post, like you've got to learn. Sefora and I met because of host to post. She's killing it with enrollments, largely because of host to post. And so if you have not taken the time to learn host to post does not discriminate. It will reward you if you are brand new in the business, if you are an ambassador diamond in the business, but you have to work it. You have to do it. And so if you're new and you haven't dived in, I encourage you to watch the trainings that we have on host to post. Get with your upline, ask them some questions, but start doing that right away because it can be just as fruitful for you. So on that note, Chelsea, I would love for you to just let, whatever you want to share with us. What are some things that you've been doing since you jumped in, full-fledged mid-February that you feel really strongly have gotten you where you're at and you feel like everyone should be doing these things too?
Awesome, thanks. Well, Sefora hit on a lot of the practicals that I would have hit on too. I do a lot of, pretty much everything that she shared with you guys is what I do. And so what I want to talk to you guys more about is my mindset. and how I interact, how I engage with my customers, with my distributors. And so I'm going to kind of start with customers. And I have taken I love to speak from the heart, but I've taken a lot of notes, just kind of, I want to give you guys everything that I do. And so I'm going to kind of just go off my notes and share with you guys that way. But first of all, treat every single customer like it's your last one. You might have had 100 conversations that day. I know I have. And you might be tired and feel like you've taken your tongue to the gym, but they're the first person, you are the first person that they have talked to. So treat them like it was your last. Don't be robotic. Don't sound rehearsed. Be professional, have your facts clean and straight, but be relatable. Another thing is Amanda's video where she went through all of the different products that we have. Be educated on our products. You never know what questions might come, and be educated. Like Sefora said, be a product of the product. I am trying to take as many products as I possibly can because I want to be able to give a personal recommendation of the products. I always try to think of all of the different concerns or questions I might have as someone coming in and trying a new product or being interested in what questions would I have, and be proactive in thinking that through before you engage with that person. Always be accommodating, always go the extra mile. Voice text. I know this is scary for some of you guys. In my design world, all of my clients, they're like, voice text, how do you even do this? What button are you pressing? And I'm like, listen, girl, it'll forever change your life. It's a little bit scary at first, but the wonderful thing about Messenger, which is what we use most every day to interact with all of our potentials, is you can start over, or you can practice with your mentor. That's what we're here for. So if you need a few days of just practicing, just talk with your mentor. You know, she is in your corner and she thinks the best about you. And so just practice with her until you're comfortable. But I promise you, it is going to go so, so far. People want to know that you're real. People want to know that you care about them and you're not just trying to make a sale, but you actually really care about their health. And so when they're able to hear your voice and hear your passion and hear your enthusiasm about the product and what it's done for you, that's what they buy into. They buy into you before they buy into the product. And so I just force myself, even if I have to, stop and redo it, because there are a couple times where like I've been sitting with my kids and watching a movie, and so I'm like, I'll just text this person, and it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't go like it goes when I voice text. And so I'm like, I gotta go to the other room and voice text. I can't do this. I don't even feel like I'm talking to a human. So anyway, so voice texting is huge, and I know it pushes some of us outside of our comfort zone, but that's what this is all about. We're not going to grow unless we push ourselves out of our comfort zone. There's still comfort zones that I haven't even stepped into yet, like live videos. I need to start doing live videos, and I'm saying this because y'all hold me accountable. Sefora, she's my accountability partner. Hold me accountable. I got to start doing this. And it's really not that scary once you just start doing it. You know, our fears are way bigger than what they actually are once we step into them. So let them know that you're with them for the long haul. This is something that I say before someone even buys a product for me. I want them to know that I am committed to not only them achieving their goals, but about them healing their bodies from the inside out. And that's why I do what I do. Like, yes, we're doing this because we want a better life and we want to be home with our children, and there's really important things to us. And so, yes, the income is important, but we are doing this because we genuinely care about people. And if we tap out of that, we need a reality check of why we're doing what we're doing. And so, let's see, yes, like Sefora said, giving them your contact information. I give them my cell phone number, and I'm like, listen, because you know, when people hear that it's a 3-month commitment, I want them to know that 3-month commitment, I'm committed to them, and I'm committed them to be on, but I'm with them in that 3 months. And so they're not going to just make a sale. I'm not just going to make a sale off of them and then disappear. So that's so, so, so important. Again, like I said, we aren't after this for a one-time sale. We are establishing loyalty. And that was so important to me with this last sale, because yes, the PV was lower than it normally is, right? But we're establishing loyalty. That's why we're getting so many of these people in right now, because we're establishing that. And that comes through building relationships and the type of customer service that we provide. We either really care about helping people or we don't. And I believe that that level of commitment determines it. And so, yes, I just encourage you guys. I know that it's hard, and I know that if we are real with this, there are some days that are just exhausting, but remember, this is what I try to focus on. It's like my imaginary savings account in these early days. And I'm speaking to all of you guys that are like, executive, distributor, Ruby, right in those levels. These days are harder, but imagine that you've got this imaginary savings account and you're pouring into that for your future, on the days where it's hard. And always remember that there are days where you're planting seeds, and then there are days where it's like an abundance. The last couple of days, I think I signed close to 20 customers in the last couple of days, but then there are several days where I don't sign any, but I'm planting seeds. It's like we never, ever, 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 ever know who is watching us. And I would probably have to say about 90% of the people that I sell to, I've never met in my life. They're from all over the place. And I'm like, where did these people come from? And so just don't fall into discouragement. Be encouraged. Know that people are watching. And yes. So, and like Sefora said, be a product of the product. Okay, I'm going to move on to distributors really quickly. Okay, so as far as distributors go, I have an initial standard text that I send out to everyone, and you can find an example on the Fire Tribe. But take that and make it your own. Don't be overwhelming, obviously, but include key phrases that share and sum up what you do, what you're passionate about, and create not just curiosity, but excitement to know more. So obviously, we don't want to answer questions that haven't been asked, but we want to put something in there that goes, wow, this is really intriguing, and more than just curiosity, it creates excitement for them to want to be a part of whatever we do, and so as soon as I send that text and they respond, the questions are generally like, okay, what's the product line? I am not ashamed in the least to talk about It Works. We work for an amazing company. If you have not done your research, really research the heart of the company, who they are, then do it, because this is an incredible company. And obviously the reason that we present the business like we do to create curiosity is because people have their own ideas. They might have heard something from somebody else or whatever. And if we just put it out there like that, then it shuts it down from them being able to talk to us. And they're connecting to our heart, who we are, our enthusiasm, our excitement, our belief about the company before they even connect to the heart of the company. And so I really encourage you guys, get language on who the company is and how awesome that they are and what they do. And so I will talk to them about, who I am, what I do, and then and then share a little bit of my story. Share the product. I'm sorry, I had one of those moments where everything just fell out of my brain. I'm so sorry. Let me look back at my notes real quick.
Happens to me all the time, Chelsea. It's like the thought is right there, and then it's like as I'm talking, it's just gone. So
thank you. I know it's like everything went black. But anyway, yes, I really just I want the person to be able to connect into my why I got started in this, how amazing the products are. They're really not just quality. That's the entire reason that I'm in here, is because they actually really are exceptional products. And so anyway, so I share that, and then of course ask them, what questions they have. Alleviate fears. Think about the fears that I had when I initially started this. I talk a lot about the heart of this team, and that it is mentorship at its core, and that they're not going to jump in this, because this is another thing. A couple of people that I've talked to have been a part of It Works. Actually, let me share this story. I had a girl who, looked at my page, and she was, same experience as I had with Chelsea. Didn't know what I did, but then found out that I worked for It Works. And she was like, oh, I worked for them actually a year ago, but I had a really, really horrible experience. I really wish that I had been able to come in on your team, because this sounds like a completely different company, a completely different team, a completely different heartbeat. And anyway, so she went to sign up and then realized that she hadn't canceled her like account completely yet. And so she's having to wait a couple months to do it, but she's so excited and so ready. And so that I feel like is what really sets us apart from other teams or from other companies, period, is the mentorship that goes into this. And so I really encourage my girls that they're not alone. You know, like I'm here for them every day. This is something that I take so seriously, is getting to pour into them. And you know, just everything that's been poured into me, pour into them. So take the time to pour into your teams, take the time to pour into your girls, because everything that you train them, they're going to see that and investing it into their team. So yes, disarm fears, prepare yourself mentally to mentor, to give of your time and your energy. This is how you'll grow. Another thing, never stop learning or being willing to be taught. Never think you have it all together or you know it. Read books. Brittany, I think you have a post or whatever on the Fire Tribe that has a ton of your book recommendations. I would encourage you guys, read. I am not a reader, but audiobooks. I'm so thankful that we have those now. Read audiobooks. Have grace for yourself. Remember that you are always planting seeds. And, you know, like I just said, there are so many days, you know, in the last month or so, or how long have I been? 6 weeks I've been doing this, where it's so easy to fall. It can be easy to fall into discouragement in these days, but don't let yourself be discouraged. You know, one thing that I tell my girls, I'm like, God is your provider. It works as simply a vehicle for means of provision. And as long as you are putting forth your best effort, God is going to supply, and he's going to meet the needs, and he's going to do more than you could ask or imagine. And so, yes, I think that's all I have at the moment.
That is so good, Chelsea. I absolutely love just so much just hearing just your heart for people come out of you when you speak. You guys, Chelsea, like I know for a fact the reason that you have signed like 40 to 50 customers this month is because of everything you've shared right now. Like your heart is in the right place. You want to help people. You go forward just looking at it like, how can I best serve this person? And I want you to know, you guys, like it's really easy to listen to both of, you know, these incredible women share tonight and think like, oh, well, I just wish I was that confident. But the way you become, the way your confidence grows is just stepping forward and just putting one foot in front of the other. I promise you, neither one of them felt like they had it all figured out when they got started, but they just decided, you know what, the only way I'm going to figure it out is just getting started and just, you know, moving forward. And so I just hope that you can really, really just latch on to what they've shared tonight, and really just, you know, decide and make that, you know, concrete decision within yourself and have that firm resolve that you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're going to be like, how can I do my best? How can I, you know, take the things I learned and implement them? Before we wrap up, I just would love so much for both of you guys, and Sefora, we'll start with you and then we'll come back to you, Chelsea, to just share something that God has showed you since you started the business. Maybe something you've learned, maybe something you've had to overcome. It can be anything at all. And then just one final, just, you know, lasting tip that you'd want to leave everyone with, whether it's, you know, an actual tip to end the month strong, whether it's just something encouraging you want to share. I'll leave that up to you guys.
Yes, so I kind of touched on it when I first started talking, but the biggest thing for me is that I have finally found my identity. And what I mean by that is something I'm going to share that I don't ever share, and I wasn't even planning on sharing, but I asked, you know, I pray to God to use Chelsea and I to really speak to you guys, to, you know, tell you from personal experience. And it'll be quick. So growing up, I always knew I wanted to help people. Like it was just in me. I'm like one of the youngest grandkids. So I had to see, unfortunately, a lot of people pass away, but at the same time, I always loved helping them go to their doctor's appointments, help them around the house. That was just me. So I was like, I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to be a registered nurse. That's what I'm going to do. And that was it. Like it was tunnel. It was a tunnel, and that's all I saw. So I got into nursing school, went through it. And then after one full year that I went through it, I took what's called the HESI. It's one of those exams that you take before, you know, going on to the next level. I had an 84 average. When I took that, I failed with a 74, and you needed a 76 to pass. And so I tried again, and I tried again, and I tried again. I tried it 3 times, and that's the limit. You can't do it anymore. And so for the longest time, I'm like, why am I not a nurse? What's going on? And so went to school to be a paramedic, and then same thing happened there. And so I finally found, I'm 30 years old, and I finally found now that God had this opportunity for me, but it wasn't my time yet. I wasn't ready. The reason why I wasn't ready is because I had not accepted in my heart that I felt like I was a failure because I didn't get my degree in nursing or in, emergency medicine, whatever the case. And so when I finally came to terms with that that was not the plan for me, when I finally in my soul, I was okay with that, he presented me with an opportunity to be able to help people in a different way. And this is how I'm here. So I want you guys to know that just because, you don't know where your life is going or you don't know what's going on, God has a plan for you and you have to trust in that plan. I can finally, I'm here and my soul is finally calm because I found a business that I love, that I can help people, that I have found so many beautiful women who speak life into me every single day. And that has been the biggest thing. That has been the biggest change. That's been the biggest blessing in my life. So I want you guys to know that we are here for you. You guys can reach out to me. You can reach out to Brittany, Chelsea, Jordan, Claire, anybody. Just reach out to anyone if you have any questions, any doubts. We're here for you any day, anytime. And I'm a night owl, so I'm on until 2, 3 in the morning, so y'all can message me and I'll still be on. And then my final thing to leave with you guys is, it was actually by Stephen Furtick. And you guys might have listened to this message, but he says, what is blocking your breakthrough? Okay. Breakthrough begins when your excuses end. Okay. Everlasting change comes when you first confront with what's in you. Think about that. Everlasting change comes when you first confront what's in you. When you figure that out, everything is going to change.
I am so proud of you. I just love you so much. And you've just been such a blessing to my life, to this entire team. I'm so proud of you. I know that, so often it's not easy to share things like that. Sometimes God shows us something and it's we're okay with it, but it's not easy to talk about it. And I just love so much that you followed that prompt and shared it, because I know that spoke to so many people. I don't know if you've had a chance to even look at the chat, but you're just such a blessing to this team. And we're so thankful for you. And I know that this is just the beginning. I'm just so excited for you. Chelsea, what is something that you feel like that God has, showed you, something you've learned from, since you started, something that he's helped you overcome, et cetera. And then what is one final thing that you would like to leave everyone with?
So, this platform and the people and the women that it enables us to reach is just amazing. And so I just want to encourage you guys to remember who you are outside of this business. Remember the gifts and calling that God has placed on your life and incorporate that, share that. What we do is amazing and it's an incredible opportunity and it's a phenomenal product, but it can be used as a catalyst to minister to so many people. And so utilizing your Facebook page, utilizing your stories, constantly go back and forth from, yes, sharing the business, because that's what we do. That's how we make our livelihood, but using it for more than that, and I think that's the thing that I've been so grateful for. The other day, I was talking to a woman in Dallas who works for a design firm. I didn't know her from Boo, and I don't reach out to people, we don't cold call, anything like that. But I reached out to her the other day because God just laid her on my heart, and I don't even know how we became friends. I don't remember adding her, anything like that. But I just audio messaged her and I shared the opportunity with her, but I shared my heart and what God has done in my life in this last year. And she was just boo-hooing on the phone. And anyway, and of course, she's looking for something a little bit different right now, but she just said, Chelsea, I'm so touched that you would reach out to me. God knew that I needed this today. And, this company, it sounds amazing. What you do sounds amazing. Just know that I'm definitely putting this in my back pocket, but God has so used you. And she's reached out to me 2 or 3 times since then. And it's when in history have we ever had, a platform like this where we have an audience, and so just encouraging you guys that beyond this business, God has put, we all have different gift mixes, and you are special, you're unique, and what you have to offer is so valuable. And so incorporate that. Don't let fear hold you back. Share it. And also, what I was talking about earlier is you never know who is watching. You never know what people are going through, what breakthrough that they're believing for, what they're praying for. And so be a light, be willing to be used by God, to be a vessel. I was sharing just a little bit earlier, last year my family went through some really excruciating things, and that was the reason that I had to come home and be with my girls. But God is so good, and he is so faithful, and I am so believing that he has used this business as a door for me to be able to share my story and impact lives, not because of me being so great or anything like that, because of who he is. And anyway, so another thing as far as the business is concerned, and the Lord really started speaking this to me about the first weekend, to be a woman of integrity, to be honest, to be a woman of nobility, of character, because it's what's going to set us apart from other companies, other businesses. And so I just really encourage you in everything that you post and everything that you share, to rise above, to be the standard setter. People are looking for places of safety, and you can be that. You absolutely can be that. And so I just encourage you in everything that you share, whether it's business related or personal. People are looking, they're watching, they're in need. They don't only need just a business opportunity or income, they need friends, they need truth, they need all of these things, and you can be that and so much more. And so I just encourage you with that. And then I guess the last thing that I would want to leave you guys with is the scripture that came to mind today to me is faith. What is faith? It's the evidence of things that are not yet seen, but believed for. And so I just encourage you every day, wake up, pray over your business. First of all, surrender your business to God. That was one of the things that I had to do in the beginning, because I was in direct sales about 9 or 10 years ago. And I made it up the ladder really, really quickly. And within like 2 months, I had gotten my BMW. I had gotten it for my husband. And about a month after that, I just felt a check in my spirit over the company. And I'm like, God, I've worked so hard, and so many people know what I've done. And I felt like I'm failing to leave this company. But my assurance right now is I'm not focused on that. That was the thing that I was so fearful of in the beginning, is what if God takes me here and he takes me there and then I look like a failure? If your business is surrendered to God, you have no idea what he's going to do with it and where he's going to take you and the people that he's going to bring in. And it's going to blow your mind. That's my reality. And that's what I'm seeing just 6 weeks in, is I had no grid that I could be where I am, and I could have the people in my life and the customer base that I do and the things that have happened there. I mean, you guys, I pace my room floor. I can't even tell you how many times a day, talking to people about things that they're going through in their life, praying for them. I mean, it has opened up such a door. And in the meantime, the Lord is pouring out provision on my family. And so anyway, I just want to encourage you on the days that are hard and when you're tired, press in. Keep reminding yourself, I'm sowing seeds, I'm planting seeds, and there are going to be days where it's going to bloom and blossom and your team is going to be full, and then there's going to be days where you're planting again. And so anyway, I'm so proud of every single one of you. I'm so thankful to be a part of this team. I'm thankful for this opportunity. Even though I've been nervous and my brain has cleared a few times, thank you guys for the patience and the grace. And just know we're in this together. We're growing together. We're learning together. And we're going to look back, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and be so in awe of everything that God has done, because we said yes. And we took courage and we put fear at the door and we kept going for more. And so that is what I am determining to do, is just to keep going for more and helping all of those that God has placed in my life to do this as well. So thank you guys so much for letting me share with you.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. I love you guys both so much, and I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all could not have delivered any better, and I know that everyone took so much away. Everyone is so touched. Thank you guys for, spending that time, just pouring into everybody. I know that that was just such a blessing to everyone on. I will get this recording uploaded tonight for anyone that wants to watch the replay, or if you need to share it with anyone that wasn't able to be on live. But again, thank you guys so much. We're cheering you guys on to Diamond. I know we'll be seeing those announcements so soon. And we're cheering every single one of you, all of the other, everyone else here on the Zoom, I can't talk tonight, on as well. And I hope that, wherever, you got, when you started the Zoom tonight, whatever you believed was possible for you, I hope after hearing, just the Lord speak through Sefora and Chelsea tonight, I hope you believe so much more is possible. And I hope you step out in faith and just commit to making, this the best month yet in your business, and believing God, to bless you beyond anything you've ever seen. Believe that his hand is on you and your business. And like they said, pray over your business every single day and watch what happens. So we love you guys so much. I will get this uploaded, and I hope you guys have a good night.
Good night.